Good, happy Friday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. First up, mother of Manchester children living in filthy conditions arrested. Police said the mother of two children who were removed from a filthy raided home in Manchester will face charges along with her husband. Police announced Friday that Samantha Gardner was arrested Wednesday. She was arraigned Friday on 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Her husband, James Gardner, was arrested Monday after officers went to the home on Curran Street for a welfare check. Police said Gardner's son was strapped into a harness that was attached to his bed, which was covered in feces and urine. They said his daughter was unclothed and that her crib was also covered in feces. Officers said they deemed the conditions of the home deplorable after finding feces and trash covering all over the floor. Officers said they found food left out on the counters and piles of human and animal feces scattered throughout the fly-infested home. They also said foul odor lingered throughout the hallways of the building. The children were taken out of the home and placed in the custody of their grandparents. An active driver causes 4 car crashes near Mall of New Hampshire during Black Friday traffic. Many shoppers hit the road during Black Friday, causing traffic congestions and even car crashes. Traffic was backed up on exit 1 of Interstate 293 north as people headed to the Mall of New Hampshire for Black Friday deals. One driver who was not paying attention caused a 4-car crash right before this exit at about 12:21 p.m. Minor injuries were reported, but no one was transported to the hospital, police said. 3 of the 4 cars were towed from the scene.
As President-elect Donald Trump moved...
President-elect Trump announces 2 top staffers. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
Everyone wishes for silver and gold. How do you measure its worth? Just for the pleasure it gives here on earth.
Save more, give more. Exceptional brands up to 65% off. Simon Premium Outlets. Just one more.
As President-elect Donald Trump moves forward with his cabinet picks, there is an internal struggle for Secretary of State, with Trump advisors split over Mitt Romney or Rudy Giuliani.
Is the mayor a candidate for Secretary of State?
Trump loyalists are advocating for the former New York City mayor, but there is concern that with potential conflicts of interest from his foreign business entanglements, he could face a difficult confirmation. By contrast, Mitt Romney would send a signal to the world as a more moderate diplomat.
Donald Trump is a phony.
But he was one of Mr. Trump's harshest critics during the campaign.
This is a guy, as you remember, that called Donald Trump a phony, a fraud, and a con.
And senior advisor Kellyanne Conway tweeted, "Some Trump loyalists warn against Romney as Secretary of State." As for Secretary of Defense, General Jim Mattis is considered a top contender.
He is the real deal.
Other major posts awaiting appointment: Treasury, Homeland Security, and Veterans Affairs. Meanwhile, the transition team announced 2 staff-level appointments, but said no cabinet appointments would be made before Monday. And on a very different note, former Green Party candidate Jill Stein has raised $3.5 million for recounts in key states.
What we are saying is that there's enough peripheral evidence to warrant that our system should be investigated. It's just not about the outcome. It's about the process.
Her campaign officially filed for a Wisconsin recount in advance of their Friday deadline. Hillary Clinton, who now leads in the popular vote by around 2 million, has not weighed in.
Meanwhile, a U.S. official confirms that the president-elect has had just 2 intelligence briefings. The vice president has had more, but experts say there is still time for him to get up to speed. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Where strategists see stocks ending the year. By the number of U.S. stock markets appear to be on solid footing. Green Party files for Wisconsin recount audit. Let's take a listen to this video from CNN.
Why do you feel the need to challenge this?
Well, let me put it this way. Why would anyone not want to count the votes and to be sure that they are counted accurately? What we know is that there were lots of hacks taking place around this election, hacks into voter databases, into party databases, into individual email accounts. And what we also know, unfortunately, is that the equipment that we use, much of it is not just open to hacks, it basically invites hacks and malfeasance, tampering, human error, etc. Some of the voting machines in use in Wisconsin, for example, have actually been prohibited in the state of California because they've basically been proven to be wide open to tampering. So what we're saying is, not that, hacking or fraud has necessarily taken place. I don't think we have evidence of that, but I think it's only natural and it's good for Americans to be reassured that our votes are counted, especially after such a divisive and bitter election where 80% of Americans, according to a New York Times poll, basically said they were disgusted with this election. They didn't like the candidates that we were limited to. They were screaming for open debates and other choices. It was a very bitter election where so many people were voting against their worst fear rather than for the candidate that they wanted. I think this is a very positive step, and the fact that it has basically funded itself overnight reflects the incredible hunger out there among the American people to actually start doing something positive and to start creating an election system that we can believe in.
Okay, and there you go on that report. That does it for the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday night. Good night, everyone. Bye.